I received numerous requests for engagements by various political parties. I listened to a few of them before taking some time out, which was important to be able to pause and reflect and think clearly about what the next move would be. I believe it would be appropriate for me to thank all the leaders I met with for their confidence expressed in me and their insistence that I have a role to play in South African politics. It would be amiss of me not to thank all those who also shared messages of support and your prayers for me. Let me also thank my family, led by my matriarch mother, for the support throughout this difficult time. My political journey is public record for everyone to interrogate and consume. Throughout my time in politics, I have sought to champion a cause that is beyond me. This is a cause that affirms youth leadership and confirms to everyone that young people can lead and they must lead. From leading as an activist to a councillor, member of the mayoral committee, and the executive mayor of Midvaal under the DA brand, where I cut my teeth and I was afforded the opportunity to lead. That phase assisted me to define my leadership, and I will forever be grateful to DA voters, members, and leaders. The same appreciation goes to ActionSA voters, members, and leadership. Moving from one political party to another has always been driven by an agitation deep inside of me. As a young person who still feels that change is way too slow in our country, whilst young people's lives further deteriorate, but they are the ones who are leading mobilization of political parties and swell political party membership. Young people in politics remain displaced, frustrated by gatekeepers, and are reduced to insignificant participants and spectators. This cannot be left unchallenged. We are the biggest voting demographic, and we can change the trajectory of our country only if we vote. There's a clear, palpable desperation from young people, which has turned into despondence, which will later turn into anger, which will lead young people to make this country ungovernable. It is unsustainable for our country to have so many young people disadvantaged in the labor market with an unemployment rate higher than the national average. According to the Quality of Life Force survey, the youth unemployment rate measures job seekers between the ages of 15 and 25 rose to 61% in the fourth quarter of the 2022, up from an over two-year average of 59.6% and in the previous period. And the same trend is evident in the group between 25 and 45 years old. Young people's aspirations have been load-shedded, and yet we are the biggest voting demographic, but only if we vote. This sad reality was brought to us by leaders who have long reached their productive lifespan, who still persist on leading our country with yesterday's knowledge. We thank those leaders, but their time for political dinosaurs is over. Prince Mashela correctly opined in one of his many opinion pieces that South Africa is well within its second democratic transition since 1994. This second democratic transition means that the electoral hegemonic dominance of the ANC is coming to an end, and the first time since our first democratic election, power as an entity is hanging in the air for anyone to seize it. It appears to us that on various permutations about the future of our country, a few actors will be around the table discussing the future and direction of our country. These actors will craft a path for the country centered on their own party political survivalist partisan interest, and not centered on the interests of the country and most importantly the biggest shareholders of the country, which is young people. Therefore, it is crucial to disrupt what might seem as a far-gone conclusion and force the narrative to change and center on young people. We intend on forcefully inserting ourselves and the agenda of young people at the negotiating table. There can never be a post-ANC dominance reality without us. We will forcefully insert ourselves on the negotiating table, not through marching, not through expressing ourselves through anger, through the destruction of infrastructure, but through the ballot paper. Unfortunately, There is no other way of inserting ourselves within the democratic means without voting and politics. Twitter activism is not going to cut it. You can tweet there and trend on Twitter and discourage people who try to do something about it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we need to get involved in politics. We need to be the center of politics, and we must inspire young people to vote. This is the reason that we decided to create a political vehicle that will give young people and those who are so desperately seeking an alternative home, a political home. This political home is for those who believe that they do not have a stake in our democracy of our country. Those who are bystanders watching politicians gamble their futures away. This is the birth of Shilova. XILUVA. Shilova. A political home for those who want a real alternative, led by young people. A political party where young people can see themselves in the leadership of the party. Shilova was born out of this sense of political hopelessness, homelessness, and desperation. Shilova is founded on the values of family, Ubuntu, community, and most importantly, multiracialism. This is a fundamental departure from the status quo of the body politics of our country. It is exactly what our country needs right now. We believe in a South Africa that is built on an ideological philosophy of Ubuntu, a homegrown ideology birthing a multiracial South Africa, which embraces our diversity and weaves this beautiful tapestry that shapes a new South African identity and a sense of nationhood. Shilova will contest the 2024 national and provincial government elections. Our work is cut out for us. We don't have time on our side. We are clear about the ground we need to traverse in order to package our offer to South Africans and identify young, capable, competent leaders to lead this campaign throughout the country. Over the next few months, we will be working to grow Shilova and define its policies that reflect who we are. This is indeed a daunting task, but we've been given permission to dare mighty things by those young people who came before us and who have done amazing things to prove beyond any reasonable doubt that it is possible. Young people such as Julius Malema, Floyd Shibambu, Casper Nyovest, and Theo Baloyi have shown us that it is possible. This is about our hope. This is about our future. For once, despondent South Africans and young people who constitute the biggest voting demographic have a reason to vote. The time to vote for Nelson Mandela is gone. Now is the time to vote for yourself. Thank you. I will now hand over to the chairman of our party.